first thing we're going to talk about is our November 3rd paycheck. And we're going to go over this a little bit more in detail again. So what we're going to have here, as you're going to see, you're going to have your production pay, which is $709.36. Now what your production pay is, that's basically your mileage pay. Your cents per mile multiplied by the miles you drove. Then we're going to have hourly pay. What they're going to do here, and for the hourly pay, they're going to take all the hours you on duty and multiply that by $15.50 an hour. Then they're going to take that amount and they're going to subtract it from your production pay and then add it right here. So that's how you, it's something California has them do to where they have to show that they're paying us by the hour as well as by the mileage. It makes it a little more confusing. It's the same pay. It's not additional pay, but it's the way California, it's something to do with California. And then we get rest pay. So being based in California, they have to pay us for our 30-minute rest breaks. So as you can see here, we had 2 hours at $31 an hour for $62. So we had a total gross of $1,540.26. And you can see over here, all my, from right here to here is my taxes that were withheld. And then you start from the dental insurance down to here is what's going to be my insurance deductions. So we have dental insurance at $23.20, our vision at $410, and this is per week. I have $100,000 life insurance on me for $831 a week, then another $100,000 in accidental death and dismemberment for another $1.34. Our medical insurance is Kaiser. It's really good insurance, but it's $138 a week. And then my 401k is set at 3%. So as you see, at 3% for this week, it ended up being $46 to come out into my 401k. And I got $10,000 in life insurance on my wife, which is 59 cents. So out of the $1,540, we had a direct deposit of $1,048.04, and then $50 went onto my fuel card. That's my extra money I use just for buying things here and there. So for a total net pay of $1,098.04. And that was for November 3rd. So now we're going to back up here, and we're going to go to our November 10th statement. And as you can see here, it was pretty much a lot better. So we had $1,095 in production pay, mileage pay minus hourly pay. We had $87.87 in rest pay, and then $825 in hourly pay, for a total of $2,008. As you can see, the taxes here, the taxes that came out, all this stayed the same. The only thing that's different is $60 came out my check for my 401k, and then another $50 went onto my fuel card. So we had a direct deposit into my checking account of $1,386.74 for our net to be $1,436 this week. So now if we go down here, and we didn't do this on the previous week, but you'll see here, we have a Corinne, Utah to Grand Junction to Delta back to Corinne. And when you see this right here, this previous trip A minus, that means the previous week, because that load didn't end on Sunday, it moved over onto Monday. They paid a portion of it on the previous week. So they paid me $230 of it the previous week. Well, this load actually ended up paying for something. So they subtract the $230 they paid you for the previous week, and then you get what's left over. Then these loads here will start this week. The Corinne to Draper to Ephraim to Richfield. And then Twin Falls and Mountain Home. American Fork down to Washington, Utah and back. South Jordan, Draper and Corinne. And then Ammon and back. It says for a total of 5,000 miles. But we got to remember, they're adding all these miles in for the trip that we did the week before, well, that we started the week before and we finished that week. So we didn't have 5,000 miles that week. We had 34 or 35. But it's still, once again, it was still a pretty good check. We took home for $1,400 of it. So now let's go ahead and now go to the next week, which would be November 17th. And again, you can see here we have a production pay of $765.82, which is your per mile pay, our rest pay. And I have no clue how they figure this out, because as you can see here, this is showing a rate of 34, then the first one showed a rate of 31, and then so I have no clue how that's figured out. I just know they pay it to us. And then the hourly pay, which is all your on-duty time. So we had a total of $1,514.13 on this week, which would be the 17th. And then you see our taxes are all pretty much staying about the same. Our dental insurance stays the same. Our 401k is the only thing that really changes. It went down to $45 being deposited into the 401k. And then we go down here. My direct deposit this week was $1,028.86, with $50 going onto my fuel card. For, like I said, that's for just extra spending here and there. And then buying my groceries at Walmart because I eat out of the truck. And then my net pay was $1,078 for this week. And on this week, you'll see we have Ogden, which is a local, Pleasant Grove, Orem, Provo, Spanish Fork, Price. Then we'll come down and we did just an Ogden. And then that was on the 7th. And then on the 7th, we came back. We did a Riverdale, Clinton, Layton, and Salt Lake, Park City, and back. We didn't do anything on the 8th. And then you'll see on the 9th, we did Spanish Fork, Springville, and back to Corinne. And on the 9th, again, we did Spanish Fork and then Grand Junction. And then when we got back we did on the 12th, we did a Mountain Home, Idaho, a Boise, Idaho, and we came back to Corinne. So for a total of 25 miles empty, 2,616 loaded. So this miles right here, that's going to be your empty miles. This is going to be your loaded miles. And once again, our check that week was $1,078.86. So now we're going to go on to November 24th. Let's go up to here. And then as we can see here, this week was a little bit better. So we had a production pay of $888.25. An hourly pay of $863.82. And then as you can see, the rest hourly rate is a little bit different again, $32.81. Like I said, I still to this day don't understand how they come up with that. I just know California forces them to pay it, and they pay it. So this gives us a total of $1,828.52. And we can see our federal withholding went up a little bit. FICA went up a little bit. It took out $54.86. So we got a direct deposit of $1,258.55 into my account, and then $50 over onto my fuel card. So we have for a net pay of this week, which would have been November 24th, of $1,308.55. And then when you come down here, you'll see. So let's go ahead and let's recap what we just went over. So our first check, November 3rd of this year, I'll put it right here, is going to be $1,098.04. And then our second check on November 10th will be $1,436.74. November 17th, our third check of the month, is going to be $1,078.86. And our final check in November was going to be $1,308.55. This gives us a total take-home to the house of $4,922.19. We'll put that right here. Now, a comparison, in October, we took home $5,416.32. Right, we'll put that right here. So that's a difference of $494.13 that we made less in November than we did October. But we actually went home for Thanksgiving this year, so it's kind of a wash. We would have made as much or more, a little bit more in November than we did October if we wouldn't have taken the time off for Thanksgiving. That being said, Can't complain about what I'm making on this decade account. I do have to figure out the expenses of flying home. So I spend roughly $200 in flight tickets from Vegas to Fresno, Fresno back to Vegas, and then about another $50, $60 in Uber rides. So it runs me about $300 to go home when I go home. I usually stay out 4 to 6 weeks, so it's not too bad. And that's all a tax write-off anyway, so I'm not really that worried about it. But all in all, on the Corinne account, we seem to be doing pretty good. And that's our recap for November. We'll be we'll be going through our December pay here in the next few days. We'll try and get that video up by Monday if possible. Once again, if you'd please like, comment, and subscribe down below. It really helps out the channel. And have a Happy New Year.